Hello, all you beautiful humans out there. Today we're going to talk about sweet bitch bath salts. Just putting on some Lumi lip gloss from Cosmetics. It has liquid crystals in it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me some more. Hey, Gina, how are you? Okay, so we're going to start talking about the sweet bitch bath salts that I'm coming out with. March 11th is hopefully their launch date. Just waiting for the labels to be finished. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think I may have bitten off more than I can chew with this one. I had no idea mixing these bath salts was going to be such a production. I think I'm at the point where I'm going to have to actually rent a space and hire a manager person to basically like keep track of all the raw materials and the inventory and make the products. And I can't run this business on my own anymore. It's getting too big. It's growing. Okay, so what the sweet bitch bath salts are is I have loved the scent. Thank you so much. Gina told me she loved my earrings. My cousin Jenna made these. She's Lula and Floor, I think, on Instagram. I just love them. They're absolutely lovely. Okay, so I, for the longest time, have loved the essential oil sweet birch. It smells absolutely amazing. The best way for me to describe it, I know for the older generations, they'll get this. The younger generations, maybe not so much. But there's an old school gum out there called Beeman's gum. And they made Beeman's, they made Blackjack, and they made a cinnamon flavor, okay? And these are old school, like, our parents grew up chewing these gums. And, you know, they're not sugar-free. And the Beeman's gum is basically sweetened with sweet birch. And the smell is just, like, it's better than any mint you've ever smelled. It's heaven. It's heaven. So sweet birch is kind of a hard essential oil to find. It took me a while to source one. And then I found out there were some regulations on it because if you use too much of it, it is one of those essential oils that really should only be used by professionals. It's not something you should just have in your cupboard if you'd like to play around with essential oils. You do need some training behind it. And I am I've taken college level aromatherapy classes. I am certified in aromatherapy. I did make sure this is a completely safe product for you. There's only one other, when it come to bath salts, I didn't want to use flavors that everybody else has. I didn't want to use lavender. Citrus is nice, and I might come out with a citrus one at some point, but I didn't want to do citrus. I didn't want to do ones that everybody else kind of already did. And sweet birch is really unique. The only one that I know of that actually has a sweet birch bath salt is Naturopathica. And the bummer when I use that bath salt, it's a lovely bath salt, but when I use it, I want to dump it into my bath and smell the aroma of bath salts right as I dump them in and it hits the steam. But then also when I crawl into my bathtub after it's full, I want to still smell the aroma. And I've noticed with some bath salts that you get the initial hit of it when it first goes in, but the scent doesn't linger and stay with you. And I wanted to create a bath salt that lingered and stayed with you. The other thing is that Prakash Organics is a therapeutic medical grade organic skincare line. So I felt that if I was going to make a bath salt, it needed to be of therapeutic origin. It needed to actually have benefits and not just be lovely and luxurious to experience. I want it to have therapeutic levels, therapeutic doses of things that are going to feed your skin, just like with my face oils. All my face oils like feed your skin. They give you therapeutic levels of things. I wanted the bath salts to be the same thing. So what I've done, and the other thing I wanted my bath salts to have oil in them. Like I get frustrated with bath salts. My bath salts are not going to be cheap. They're not going to be expensive, but they're not going to be cheap. And I don't like how you can get high-end bath salts. The scent doesn't linger. And then when you get out of the tub, you don't really have anything on your flesh, but maybe the scent. I wanted to create a bath salt that was like a bath salt and an oil in one. So when you got out of the bathtub, not only did you have this amazing bath soak that you got to just zone out in, but you also came out with oil coating your body and hydrated. So you didn't have to use two products. You didn't have to use a bath salt and a bath oil to have, the best bath of your life. So what I've done is I created the Sweet Bitch bath salts. The scent is sweet birch. The reason why I went with the name Sweet Bitch is because when I announced that I was going to be working with this, Instagram did a typo and changed birch to bitch. And then I was like, well, that's just a match made in heaven. I thought it was a fun, kitschy name, so I went with it. So here's what the bath salts are going to entail. The other thing with the bath salts is because I made them at a therapeutic level, they are considered a concentrate. So when it comes to taking a bath, let's say you have a normal bathtub. So like not a fancy jet bathtub, not some of the bigger soaking tubs, but just kind of your standard American fiberglass bathtub. Even like the bigger cast iron tubs, not the clawfoot, but the bathtubs they made back in like, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Those are a little bit bigger. So I'm talking about like a 42-gallon bathtub. You should be putting at least 2 cups, whether it's Epsom salts, Himalayan salts, magnesium salts, like whatever your salt blend is, to get the therapeutic benefit of soaking in salts. A most common one is Epsom salts. You need 2 cups. So all you out there taking baths and you're like rationing your fancy bath soaks, you're only putting like a 1/4 of a cup in or a 1/2 of a cup in, but then you're not putting any other salt in with it. You're actually not getting any therapeutic doses or benefits of you're basically not taking a salt bath. You're just taking a salt with some scent in it and adding it to your bathtub, but you're not going to get the benefits of absorbing the magnesium into your bodies, of softening the muscles, of absorbing the nutrients and that mineral magnesium into your system. So you need at least 2 cups. And it's not cost effective to sell a fancy bath salt where you have to do 2 cups because they get really expensive. Like as soon as you start adding salt, it gets, scent, it starts getting expensive. And then, well, unless they're synthetic, but that's another story. And then salt itself is really heavy. So it makes it expensive to ship to people and get to you. So what I've done is I've created a concentrate where you can use anywhere between a 1/2 to a cup of the bath salt. You can even go back as far as a 1/4 cup. But if you do the 1/4 cup, you're going to get that amazing aroma of sweet birch when you first put it in. But then when you go in to soak in the tub, you may not smell it as much once you're in there. But so my recommendations are a 1/2 cup to a cup. And then what you do is that you then supplement with your own salt. You put additional Epsom salts in. You put additional Himalayan salts in. You put something additional so you can get the bath water up to that true saline solution level that you want to get the benefits of the salt. So I have made my bath salts concentrated. Each cup has 10 milliliters of oil in it. So you are going to be very hydrated. Even if you just use a 1/2 cup of oil in your bath, you're putting 5 whole milliliters of oil in your bath, which is equivalent to like one of my little sample bottles just poured into your entire bathtub. So the ingredient index for the Sweet Bitch bath salts are, the first ingredient is avocado oil. The reason I chose to work with avocado oil is I absolutely love how it coats the skin. I don't like avocado in body oil formulations because it sits on the skin too long and we got stuff to do. We want to be able to put our body oil on, it penetrate into our tissues, and we put our clothes on. Avocado oil, however, is one of those oils that when you put it on, you have to wait. Like you have to put a bathrobe on. You have to wait for the oil to sink into your skin before you can actually get ready for the day. Now, with a body oil, that's not ideal, but with a bath oil, because it's a thinner coat, it's awesome, especially when you get out of the bathtub. You're going to lightly pat dry, and then that oil is still going to stay clung to your skin. So that's one of the reasons why I went with avocado. It also is loaded with beta carotenes, proteins, lecithin, potassium, fatty acids, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and the high oleic oil content in it promotes collagen production. Okay, the second ingredient is pomegranate seed oil. It's naturally high. It's one of the carry oils that's more high in vitamin C. It's very regenerative. It's anti-inflammatory. It's got tons of antioxidants in it, and it also promotes bouncy, glowing skin. So the reason I didn't put pomegranate oil in the vitamin C facial oil, the Brilliant C&E that I created, is pomegranate oil has a very kind of waxy consistency. It's another oil that likes to kind of sit on the top of the tissues and doesn't quickly drop into skin. And when it comes to the face, we need things to absorb in quickly. Like it's one thing if you want to put layers on at night and look like a glazed donut, but majority of people want to put their skincare on and then be able to put their foundation and makeup on right away and move on with their day. So pomegranate oil would have prevented that from happening in the Brilliant C&E. But again, it's perfect for this bath oil, bath salt blend, because it's going to kind of create this light, thin coating on the skin that's going to make you feel very hydrated. The third ingredient that I used was green tea oil. And green tea oil is super close to my heart because of the fact that it is so loaded with antioxidants, particularly the ECGCs. That's what's in the green tea that makes it so wow. It's got And one of those is it's a catechins, galates, flavonoids. All these protect against UV damage. So when you have these particular type of ingredients on the skin and the sun hits your skin, it's going to help protect from the UV damage that may be causing. It's also repairs and rejuvenates the tissues. It rejuvenates collagen as well, and it makes the skin more resilient. And then the last oil in the formulation, so there's 4 oils in this formulation, is meadowfoam. And one of the reasons why I work with meadowfoam is because of the fact that it has a very unique lipid, it has a very unique lipid, what's the word? It's a fancy word, it has very unique lipid profile in that it's a whole bunch of long chain fatty acids connected together. So it's very stable and then extends, it has a very long shelf life, and any oils that you add to it, it also prolongs the shelf life of those oils. It's one of the reasons why it's in the Samson beard and hair oil, is because of the fact that I don't use preservatives in any of my skincare at this point in time, and it automatically extends the shelf life of the other seed oils that are in the formulation. Same with this bath salt, because it's a therapeutic bath salt. I mean, I personally bathe in it all the time, but for people who want to keep it more for therapeutic reasons, I'm going to go into the benefits of sweet birch in a minute. You are going to possibly need that bath salt to last you a little bit longer. So that's one of the reasons I put it in the formulation. But on top of that, it leaves a very velvety, smooth finish. It's completely non-greasy, and it leaves the skin super soft. There's some other great things about meadowfoam. Cosmetic chemists and formulators love working with meadowfoam because it kind of works as like a natural plant-based silicone. They use it a lot in like hairstyling products and things like that because it actually gives you some heat protection. So that was the other thing about it that I thought would be nice to have in the formulation for those who tend to like really hot baths. The meadowfoam seed oil is actually going to protect your skin from the heat caused by the water in the bath. So that's kind of the beauty of meadowfoam. And then we get to sweet birch essential oil. And sweet birch essential oil has been used for hundreds of thousands of years by so many different cultures. I found multiple things that First Nation, also known as Native Americans, have used it a lot. Russian people have used it a lot. I didn't write down all of the different cultures. It's also one of the ingredients that I think when you look it up on, so anytime I look an ingredient up online and I find things that say, don't use it, it's toxic. And then I also find things that say, this stuff is amazing, it has all these medicinal uses. I look at both of them. When you search an ingredient and you only see negative about it, that's alarming. And when you search an ingredient and you only see positive about it, that's great. But when you search an ingredient that's like a medical level ingredient and there's smear campaigns against it, is basically what I like to call them. I really like to keep that in mind. Same with the sassafras that I discovered. Like sassafras, sarsaparilla supplements are phenomenal at treating psoriasis. But if like phenomenal, better than any like FDA cleared or proven drug, okay? But when you look it up, you've got these websites that are more medicinal, herbal websites that are like, no, this stuff really works great. It does have this one ingredient in it. They're type of steroids that you do need to be a little natural steroids that you just need to be conscious that they're there and careful with them. And then you have these other websites that are like, no, don't take it. No, take it. And they're all like major medical websites. So that automatically clues me into the fact that there's something very beneficial and healing about this ingredient, but you do want to work with somebody who kind of knows what they're doing. It does not mean we should not take it. So if you Google sweet birch, you're going to find things like, is it toxic? Yep. In high doses, it's toxic. Just like everything is toxic, like salicylic acid. We can only use salicylic acid in over-the-counter skincare products at 2%. If it's for warts, like a lot of wart remover creams are made out of salicylic acid. Those are at like 8%. So just keep that in mind. Just because you might see something negative on it does not mean this is not an amazing ingredient and you can use it. So I did research the heck out of this ingredient. What I found was when it comes to sweet birch, it is 90% methyl salicylate. And that is the ingredient that they want you to kind of be conscious of. So in my entire container of bath salts, I'm going to be selling 2 sizes. I'm going to be selling a 2 cup and a 5 cup because I want people to be able to not just get one small size of it. Like if you love it and you want it, I want there to be options. If you were to take my full 2 cups and dump the entire full 2 cups in the bathtub, It's still not going to be toxic. If you were to take the full 5 cups and dump it into your bathtub, once it's in your bathtub and mixed in, it's still not going to be toxic. Now, is it going to be at such an uncomfortable level that you're going to want to get out of the bathtub and wash off your skin? Yes, you are. That's what happened to me. So when I was developing this, I was trying to figure out the white percentage. And of course, I wanted to be therapeutic. Well, I couldn't get the scent. Like, I wasn't measuring anything. I was being a complete boner. I was doing stuff I probably shouldn't do. And I literally just took the essential oil and just poured it into my bathtub. More than what's going to be in the 5 cup amount. And I get in the bathtub and I'm feeling fine. And all of a sudden, the back of my legs, the back of my thighs start to burn a little bit. And my butt cheeks start to burn a little bit. And then as I move around in the water, it starts getting on my labia. My labia starts burning a little bit. I'm like, oh, yep, this is too much essential oil. I need to hop out. So I hop out of the bathtub. But essential oil is essential oil, okay? So it's not like, it still burned a little bit. So I had to go into the shower, put soap on my body, rinse it off, and I was absolutely fine. So the dose in this is a completely safe level. But you do want to, it's not, the only warning on the package is that you don't want to use it if you are pregnant. Breastfeeding is absolutely fine. And you don't want to use it if you're allergic to aspirin, because 90% of sweet birch essential oil is made out of methyl salicylate. And if you have a aspirin allergy or a salicylic acid allergy, that can create a problem for you. It's not okay to do while you're pregnant, but it's totally safe for breastfeeding. And the reason why is sweet birch at high doses, again, not at a dose at all anywhere in any of my sizes, but at higher dosages, it can be it can cause you placental separation. Okay. It's known as an anti-abortic. And the reason why I'm going into all this information is I am all about truth and transparency. I want to give you all the information up front because that's just the kind of bitch I am. Okay, so this is what sweet birch is fantastic at doing, okay? So it treats sore muscles, sprains, pains, joints, and it's due to its anti-inflammatory and anti-spasmodic properties. It helps reduce the appearance of cellulite by supporting the body's own regenerating and regulating processes. It's antiseptic, it's astringent, it stimulates blood circulation, it helps with digestion. It also benefits your mood swings. It's amazing at clearing the chest and the sinuses. It lowers fevers, it helps with rheumatoid arthritis, and it helps with gout. Now you can see why the medical industry doesn't really want this in your life. It is absolutely amazing. One of my most favorite things to do with this is put it in the bathtub. If I'm not feeling well, I deal with asthma, so it instantly clears out my lungs and my chest. I use it in replace of using the sore muscle rubs, like the arnica, things like that. I use it as this bath soak. If I'm feeling kind of sore after a massage or I just slept the wrong way, I'll put this stuff in my bathtub and hop in and just float away to the amazing scent of sweet birch. It's an absolutely phenomenal product. I cannot wait for all of you to try it. Do any of you have any questions before I let you go? It'll be released March 11th. I don't know the pricing on it quite yet. I still need to, basically I just need to tally everything up and figure that out. The Equinox boxes, the spring Equinox boxes that are also launching on March 11th are going to have the sweet bitch bath salts also in that particular kit. So there's going to be 2 totally different ways you can get it. And then also one of the ways I'm selling it is they're all first going to launch in the beautiful cardboard containers that I have sourced for them. But once they've been out for about a month or 2, I will then, and this is also how they're going to come in the Eclipse box, is they're going to just be in a biodegradable plastic bag. The reason for this is because it does not make sense for you to need to buy the container every single time. I am not a fan of wasteful packaging. You will be able to throw the one bag away that it came with and then just drop the new bag down into your container. It will have the label on it, but you'll be able to drop it back into your container and keep using your beautiful container that you have at home. And then it also makes a lot more sense for shipping because in the round containers, it's going to cost more to ship because of the size. We have to put it in a box, whereas in the plastic bag, I can put it in an envelope and it saves everyone shipping as well. The plastic bags that I was able to source, I wanted to go compostable, but I was slightly terrified that the bags would start composting in the container because of the oils and the essential oils. So I went with what was a biodegradable plastic bag. I know that's not really a thing. I've done a ton on plastic research. I did a whole paper on it in my Writing 122 class a couple of years ago at school. So anyone that's out there who's like, biodegradable plastic isn't a thing, I know, girlfriend, I know. But these particular biodegradable plastic bags, the studies that they've gone through promise that they break down by 90% after being in a landfill for 10 days. So they don't have to go into the commercialized composting systems that some biodegradable plastic has to go through to actually break down. This one will break down into the earth down to just 10% of itself after 10 months of being in the landfill. And that was the best that I could do at this time. I'm going to be looking, of course, at better options that don't have plastic. But it's really hard with the oils. The glass is too heavy. It's the salts already weigh a ton, so the glass is too heavy for shipping. 10, I'm afraid the oils will cause rusting and leaking in the container. And then we're right back to like bag styles that's plastic and things like that. So I am working on what my options are, but that's where I'm at right now. Thank you so much, Hannah. That's so sweet of you to say. So that is where I am with the salts. The label sticker, the container itself is going to be cardboard. And then the labels themselves are like non-plastic labels. They're made out of different types of papers and like celluloses. The adhesive might have a tiny bit, but I honestly don't think that is either. They're not going to have a coating on them. They will have the gold foil. And then each batch of Sweet Bitch bath salts, of course, is going to have some type of Prakash Organics crystals. So whether it's like a bigger quartz crystal or I've got some of the beautiful little rose quartz hearts that you've seen on there, everything is going to be filled with high vibes and love and vibration and sent to you out in a container so you can incorporate into your life. And I hopefully am going to be launching on March 11th. I'm waiting on the labels right now, and then I have an insane amount of bath salts to make. I've been making them. I just didn't realize it was going to be such a production. Can you please do an eczema sensitive skin body oil, or what's your affordable option until you do? So there are multiple products that I am working on. Packaging is an absolute beast. It's really, really hard with packaging. The reason why I was able to launch the bath salts so quickly is because I was able to source the cardboard tubes here in the US, and I'm just going with labels. Once I start with my glass bottles and things like that, because they're screen printed, I had to purchase those outside the United States. And it takes months and months and months to get things, to get them ordered, to get it into production. And then usually they won't put it on a ship unless I have at least $10,000 worth of product that I can put in my order. And so I have like 3 or 4 SKUs that I'm trying to launch right now. I have a baby oil that's going to have 2 sizes that I'm launching. I'm working on getting the Samson in a more eyelash friendly container for you guys. I have a body oil that I am almost completely done formulating that's going to launch. So hopefully those products are going to launch this year. I am working on a wound healing oil that's going to be more like for wounds and super sensitive skin. But for the eczema, darling, you need to look into sassafras. You need to look into taking 1,000 milligrams a day until your condition clears up. They'll say that there's no scientific studies on it, but there are. They're just not done in this country. And it's one of those things that works so well. There's a reason the medical system doesn't want you to know about it. Like, it works well. The TikTok I saw on it, the woman had done for her husband, his entire head was covered in a psoriasis. I've never seen that bad in my entire life. It was the worst case I'd ever seen. And he'd been taking the supplements for like 2 or 3 weeks. And she had before and after photos, and they were amazing. She actually showed his head after, so it wasn't even a photo. That video disappeared. I couldn't save it, and then I added it to my favorites, and it disappeared. And I talked about it, and multiple people on my Instagram page said that they saw that video too, and they went looking for it, and it's just gone. There's a reason for that. So look into sassafras supplements. It's the same as sassafras and sarsaparilla are the same thing. One is just made from the vines, and one is made from the roots. So look into it. And the dewormer, usually parasites is not what causes eczema or psoriasis, so it doesn't surprise me. You got to do it consistently. Yeah, so try the sassafras, okay? I actually haven't heard of the dewormer. I'll look into that, okay, so I can get more information on it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for being such a big part of my line and my business and supporting me. You have no idea how much it truly touches me to see me living my best life. So thank you for that. It's all because of you all. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. Mwah. Light and love to you all.